If you came to a prison I was in and you talked this shit, I'd look at who the is this guy? Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. I was in prison for over 11 straight years. Also, you know, I've been on many yards, been on Con Air, been in county jails. So I'm gonna tell you the real deal from someone who's been there. I don't know who's telling you this shit, whether they've been to a camp or a low security or they think they're a tough guy. I don't know who the they are, but I'm gonna tell you the real deal about prison slang and if it's BS or not or how to act. Cadillac, an inmate's bunk, also Cadillac job, an easy or enjoyable inmate work assignment. Yeah, you know, we had those. We didn't call it the bunk Cadillac. Job was a Cadillac, man, that was good. Man, he's got a Cadillac job, usually a kitchen job where you could make money. You could steal stuff out of the kitchen and make money out of that. That's what we did. Ghetto penthouse, top tier of a cell block. We just call it the ghetto. Could have been the area where there's a staircase and people are coming all the time and it's not a place that you want to be. If you were in that prison for a long time, you wouldn't be there. You'd have what they call a primo cell. You'd have a cell in the corner where no one could see it. The guards aren't looking. In Atlanta, we had 2 guards per unit. And there'd be one in the front, one in the back. Well, the guard would sit at this thing. Now, if you were right across from them, that sucked. Because you want to be up in the top tier or second tier each unit. Like A1 had 2 tiers, A2 had 2 tiers, and A3 had 2 tiers. You want to be up in the top right corner, way away from everything. So, you know, you can, whatever you're doing, tattooing or anything. You don't want to wear guards. You know, guards are too lazy. Monster, HIV, also known as the Ninja. Nah, we just call it, he got the thing. And when he had the thing, man, you knew what everybody meant. He got the thing. And it's sad, man. I'm telling you, it's a sad shit. And there's a very high percentage of people with HIV. I think it was like 20% at that one time. And hepatitis was, I think, 30 or 40%. That means 3 out of 4 out of prisoners out of 10 had hepatitis, which will kill you. HIV too was either between 10, 50, 20%, whatever prison you're in. And mostly it's not from gay sex, it's from needles. It's from heroin. That's where it really came from. Heat wave, the attention brought to a group of inmates by actions of one or a few. And Joe and John got caught with contraband. Now the whole tier is going through a heat wave. Yeah, we just called it hot. We didn't call it, man, the unit's hot. Man, the unit's hot. That means get ready for a shakedown. It's coming. Shakedowns are coming. Man, when you get the wind of a shakedown coming, you'll see everybody scrambling. Because everybody's got contraband in their cell. Whether it's razor blades or shanks, obviously, wine in their cell, some food that's out of the kitchen that you're not allowed to have. And when they have a major shakedown, man, you lose everything. I'm telling you, you will lose clothes that's not issued. Obviously, see what I'm wearing? I literally would have, I had a shirt, cut off t-shirt, and had a headband, and they'll take it. They'll take it. I mean, they used to get, sometimes when they were assholes, they'd get strict. You know, if you're out working out in a yard, they really didn't bother. But you'd be walking in from the yard, and a guard would pull you over and say, "Hey, Lawton, come here. Give me the headband." What? Give me the headband. You can't say no. And they'll take the headband, even though there's some units, they let you do it. I mean, depending on the prison and depending on the guards, obviously, is how they make your life. And it can make your life miserable. All day. A life sentence, as in, I'm doing all day. You didn't hear that, son. That's not what you hear. You hear a guy say, hey, he's got letters. Letters means you're never getting out. Because in your jacket, it says life. L-I-F-E. Life. And life without. You know, they have no more parole in the federal system. So it's not, when you get life, you're going to die in prison. Period. So you don't see all day. I mean, some of the old cats, man, how much time he's got all day, meaning he's never getting out. But, man, that dude's got letters, man. He's never getting out. You know, he's got 3 lives, but it's letters. I mean, I get a kick out of 3 lives. The only reason you get 3 lives or 3 multiple sentences like I got, 4 12s, is because in case I beat one on appeal, I'm still going to do that time. I love this one, and you know what I'm going to talk. Keister, to hide contraband in one's rectum, also known as taking it to the hoop. Didn't hear that. Putting it in the safe. Yes, I heard that. Packing the rabbit. Didn't hear that. What we called it was suitcasing. man, go suitcase that shit. Everybody did it. Moi and everybody. You suitcase your dope. You suitcase some notes if you're transferring in planes or leaving the prison. Because once you suitcase it, they don't x-ray everybody coming in and out of a prison at all. So you suitcase something. And usually notes or dope. And even sometimes if you had a lot of dope, or if you were a person that's very important in the prison, when you go to bed at night, you literally have it ready and you suitcase it. Because they will come rushing in your cell at 2 a.m. if you're a shot caller, if you're somebody big, and they want to catch you. They'll catch you while you're sleeping or your guard's down. See, during the day, if you're outside your cell or something like that, you got boys around, you'll see them coming. You'll see the tension. You'll see something happening. You'll see the guard on the phone. You'll see a bunch of them enter the unit, and someone knows right away, man, they're coming. If they come, you shoot that shit up your butt, and you suitcase it. So at night, a lot of times, all of us would suitcase something, so you're never going to get caught with it. They'll rush in your cell, they'll take you out, they'll shake you down. They don't know what's up your butt. Unless they put you in a dry cell, but they don't really do that too often. A monkey mouth, the prisoner who goes on and on about nothing. Nah, I never heard him called monkey mouth. We just fuck out of here. Roadkill, cigarette butts picked up from roadsides by prison work crews. Never been on a work crew. Never in the prison they had work crews. I was in 2 high security prisons. They ain't letting these dudes out of prison to go do any road work. Not in any prisons I was in. No way, man. That would be a dream come true. Cell warrior, an inmate that puts on a tough front or runs their mouth when locked in their cell, but is submissive or cowardly when they interact with other prisoners in the open. We used to call them door warriors, because they'd be in the hole banging. Oh, fuck you, I'll meet you on the yard, mother. I said, come on the yard, motherfucker. I beat this dude so bad. When we went to the yard, but I knew how to slip handcuffs. So I slipped the handcuffs because they put you in the cage together. Then they start unlocking each other. I slipped my handcuffs and beat this dude half to death in the hole, and they will come running, but I'm beating him. Matter of fact, I have only one cuff off. The other one is still even hitting him when I'm hitting him. I just beat him. He was cuffed up. What's he gonna do? Hey, there's no fair fights in prison, man. Just what it is. Brake fluid, psychiatric meds. Man, they just go, man, he's going to pill line. That's how we really say. And man, look at him, he's hitting pill line. When you hit pill line, and the reason you say that, in the feds or at any prison, they don't give you your medication to take in your cell. You have to go at a specific time during the day. They'll have pill call 3 times a day. They'll have pill call in the morning. They'll have pill call at like count time, just before count time. And they'll have pill call at night, like 8 o'clock at night. And you'll hear them, they'll go, pill call. And you'd see all the fucking zombies walking out. Like, I mean, guys on Thorazine, they'd be walking out. You know, they're doing what they call the Thorazine shuffle. And they pretty much dope them dudes up until, man, they're brain dead. But that pill line is a pretty important place to be in prison, because that's where needles get stolen. People who take insulin in their stomach, they actually get the insulin, they'll break the needle and keep that needle with the hole in it, bring it back, and they make their own needle, and it's called a rig. That's called a rig, and it's for shooting heroin. They'll shoot heroin in their arms. And that's how a lot of HIV is passed, because they pass a needle to another person, and they'll be doing heroin in prison. I've seen it all the time. But pill line, I didn't see those brake fluid. I never heard of that person. I used to say he's hitting a line, he's hitting pill line. Catch a ride, a request to a friend to get you high. Yeah, I mean, you'd see a lot of that. We didn't call it catch a ride, but we just party together, man. Who's got it? That's what you'd say. All you had to do is say, who's got it? It wasn't like, who's got what, motherfucker? No. Who's got it? Who's got it, man? You want it. You want that shit. It's heroin. The biggest drug in prison is heroin. Obviously, they have every drug. They have coke and meth and acid and every drug. As I told, I've done acid a lot in prison. I've done every drug in prison. I wasn't a shooter of drugs. I never shot drugs. I never shot a drug in my life. I never put a needle in my arm for a drug. Just never did that. I snorted heroin. I snorted coke, did all that kind of stuff. I never put a needle in my arm. And not that obviously I'm not afraid of needles. You can see that. So, dance on the blacktop. It's to get stabbed here, but really it was meant to fight out on the yard. Usually at the handball courts or something like that. You know, you'd see guys are going to dance on the blacktop, man. That means they're going to hit it. And believe it or not, nobody plans it like that, but they're out there. You know when it's going to happen. Dudes are pissed. You know the tension's high. All of a sudden, they'll jump off, and boy, they go at it. The guards are screaming. Guns are coming out of the towers. People are getting down, depending on how bad the fight is. But they come running, and they ain't playing either, man. The guards aren't playing. Dipping in the Kool-Aid, attempting to enter a conversation a person has no place or is not welcome. Didn't happen. Never heard it. Because get the fuck out of here. You know, people look at you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Let me tell you how it is in real prisons. You walk down a tier, you don't even look in another man's cell. You don't do that. You don't even look in their cell. You go into another dude's cell. Let's say I'm sitting on my bunk in my cell. You want to come in, you don't just walk in. Say, hey, Lord, what's up, man? No, you knock on the door frame. I go, yo, you come on in. Get to know your close friends. He goes and gets something and comes back. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a dude, wants to talk to you about a gambling thing or drugs or, hey, Lord, can you help with my legal work? Can do something like that. He comes to the door. He knocks on the side. I look up. Yo, they come on in. And he comes on in. You nod him in. That's my house, man. You don't come to my house. You don't just walk in my house. And, also when the door is closed in your unit, let's say you're in your unit and your door is closed, and I put a towel over the door and it's covering the window. Most guards don't give a shit. Some will be assholes, come walk by, take it down. Because it means I'm taking a shit in there or jacking off or doing whatever the hell I do in there. That's my privacy. Everybody in that tier knows that. You see the towel on that door, you don't go in that door. You don't even knock on that door. If he's a good friend and you need him, you say, yo, man, Lawton, how long are you going to be? But you don't mess with someone. That's our only privacy, if you want to call it privacy. Fire on the line, a warning, correctional officer in the area. You heard that a lot, Fire on the line or, hey, cop in the unit. That's another thing. So that's how we did that. Diesel therapy. Boy, this one brought back a lot of memories. A lengthy bus trip or transfer for ROA facility or even an incorrect destination. Used as punishment or to get rid of a troublesome inmate. Exactly what it says here. I've been on it myself. When I started writing senators, congressmen, stuff like that, they put Lawton on diesel therapy. And when they put you on diesel therapy, they do everything wrong. They lose your paperwork. They lose your legal work. They lose your personal property. You have nothing coming. You don't even stay in a long enough facility to make calls. You don't even stay in that facility long enough to mail a letter. Your loved ones won't know where you are. They mess with you good. It's called diesel therapy. That's one that is true, guys. A beef, a criminal charge, as in I got caught a burglary beef in Philly. A problem with another convict, as I have a beef with the guy in cell block D. That is true. Hey man, you got a beef with those dudes over there. Hey, the GDs, Gangster Disciples, man, they're beefing with the dirty white boys. You'll hear the word beef, and beef means a fight. Beef means some tension is flowing, or they got a beef and they better settle it, man. And that's kind of a normal term, even on the streets. I think, hey, this guy, I got a beef with you, but that's what a beef means. Next one, dry snitching. Man, they have a lot of them. We call them house rats or dry snitching, and that means the guy's out in front. The guy's like, he's like telling something loud so a guard overhears it, or he drops a note. They call it dropping in a box, or drops a note in the mailbox. There's a mailbox in every unit. Everybody drops mail in because they still do snail mail. They still write letters to people and stuff of that nature. So they'll put it in a mailbox, and everybody's putting letters in boxes all the time. Well, the snitches will dry snitch, and they'll put a note in that box to the guard, because the guard at night, the night shift guard, comes, opens that box, takes the mail out, and now you can't put that letter in a box sealed. That's another thing. When you put a letter in the box going out, it's not sealed. They get to read your letter, and they will read every letter. And that's the night shift's job. They open letters and look to see if anybody's saying anything about an escape or a hit or anything like that, or if it's a gang member or someone like Lawton or somebody like that they didn't like because they were giving me a hard time. They would read your mail, and you'd be what they call flagged. And that letter might even go to SIS, which is the police in the prison. That happened a lot as well. I got jigs to keep lookout for a watch officer, as I got the jigs while you make the shank. Well, we used to put a jig or a lookout, literally lookout, up on the tier when guys doing tattoos. Guy in a corner cell, like I told you, that good cell, he's doing tats. So when he's doing my whole arm, there's a lookout. And somebody will be just hanging on the tier like this and bang the door when the guard's making a round, so you put your shit away. And you just hang out like you're reading a book. He goes by, we go back to work. Look at all my tattoos. These are all prison tattoos. All of these are prison tattoos. Ninja Turtles, guards dressed in full riot gear, also known as hats and bats. Well, we did call them ninjas. They'd come in, and we'd also call them SWAT team, or we called it the goon squad. Man, when that goon squad's coming, you're gone. And I mean, they're the goon squad. And they will come and mess you up. Peels, the orange jumpsuit uniforms worn by prisoners in some facilities. No, we call he's in orange. Man, hey, I just saw Lawton, he's in orange. That means they'd be walking me to the hole, or walking me out of the hole to visiting room. Like, to get to the visiting room from the hole, because you can get a visit in the hole sometimes, depending if you didn't lose them. You're an ad seg, they call it. You're awaiting an investigation, so you still didn't lose your visits. So I would get a visit, and they would be walking me in handcuffs. You're always in handcuffs when you're in orange. And they'd walk you straight down, like along a thing. They'd actually lock the whole prison down when they take a dude like me out of the hole to go to visit. Lockdown, lockdown. I mean, quickly, and you go in your cell, and you could look out your window, and you see Lawton coming in handcuffs and going into the visiting room. And we used to say he's in orange. And when you're in orange, you're in the hole. That's all you know. Ride the leg, to be friendly with or suck up to staff in order to get favors. Yeah, that one I heard. Man, he's always riding that cop's leg, man. That dude's riding the leg, man. That's for sure. 3 knee deep, to stab someone so they're injured but not killed, usually as a warning. 3 knee deep. We didn't do that. I never heard that, because if somebody got stabbed, he got stabbed. I know of people who did stab someone in the stomach to get them out of the prison to try to escape. Because in prison, if you get stabbed in the stomach, it's an automatic to the outside hospital. And who knows what they're thinking and planning and figuring out. But you will die. I mean, you can die from that. So I don't get it. But listen, when people are desperate, they do anything. Well, that's what they give you here. But I'm going to give you a few of my own that are important. Sid. Hey, who's got the Sid? Acid. Man, when Sid hit the yard, it wasn't Sydney or something. It was acid. When acid hit the yard, everybody knew it. Hey, who's got Sid? Shank. People use shank as the weapon itself, the noun shank. To shiv or shank, the same word. Everybody asks, what's the difference? It's the same thing. But shank is, hey, he got shanked, meaning the verb. Hey, that dude was shanked. They have a shank that can be almost like a sword, a knife made out of a lot of different things. But then you had pokers. I made a great poker out of a fence, chain link fence. You take the things that hook and you make about 3 or 4 of them together. You put them together, you point them up, and you get a piece of wood, you put it in. That's a poker. That's a poking someone. And boy, obviously you can kill somebody. It's a poker, man. It's this long, and you're poking someone. You kill them. So then you had blade. A blade, everybody in prison had razor blades. You get your razor, even the razors off the commissary, and you take them out. And you need razors for everything. Cutting garlic, or sharpening things. There's no pencil sharpener, so you sharpen shit. And you need razors. Cut things nicely out of a magazine. They don't give you scissors if you want to cut something out nice. You had a razor. Everybody had a blade. Books. When you say, man, who's got books? It's not books in reading. It's books in stamps. Because the stamps were worth money. When I left the prison at that time, a book of stamps was worth $6. The actual price was $7 and some cent of actual stamp. But the book is worth $6. When I first went in, stamps were like 30 cents a stamp, 32 cents a stamp. And it was a quarter a stamp. So one book of stamps was $5. Remember that. One book of stamps was $5. I saw a man get killed for a book of stamps. Listen, when I went to a yard, yeah, I'd bring as many, and I'd try to hide them and shit when I got to a place. And a lot of times they find them and you lose them. Because you're only allowed to have 3 books of stamps in prison. But I always had stamps. So stamps were money. So the first thing I would go on the yard is, if I went to the yard, I'd say to a dude, man, hey, who's got the books? And the guy said, man, you know, this guy down there, he might have 500 books, 1,000. I used to have 1,000 books. Well, if I got to a yard, I'd tell the dude, I said, man, how much for 100? Street money. And he'd say, I give you 22 books or 24 books. They actually compete with people because it's money. So I would buy books of stamps so I could start buying fruit off the commissary, a sandwich, pay for my laundry guy, do whatever, pay for a cell cleaner, whatever it is, you did that. Houseman, and that's just the last one. Houseman is only in jails, and in a county jail or something, they can have a houseman. He's the dude that's usually in that jail for a long period of time for whatever reason. He's waiting on a trial or something of that nature, and he's the houseman. So he'll like divvy out the stuff, get the trays, and he'll assign someone to a bunk in that unit, whatever it is. It's a pod in county jail. So he's the houseman, is what they call that. I don't want you to think you're a tough guy because you know terms. Let me tell you that. You go to prison and you mind your own business, keep a straight line, act like a man, respect others, don't take shit, but don't start shit. Defend yourself when you have to, and make your word count. That'll go around a lot quicker than anything else. I had a good reputation in prison because I was what they call a convict. Not an inmate, I was a convict. Convicts are stand-up people. Convicts are the guys you go to who you can get things done. And they, listen, doesn't mean, listen, convicts or anybody, you got to listen to the guards. I love that you ain't listening to the guard. Fuck you, you ain't listening to the guard. You're going to the box. You're going to the hole, box, shoe. It's all special housing unit, shoe. A good convict knows when to do shit and when not to do shit. And he won't be disrespected even by a guard. When a guard disrespects him, he'll check that guard. Trust me, he'll do that. And I was a convict. So I hope you learned something today in, I guess, prison vocabulary, prison words. I got a kick out of it because some of the shit I didn't even know on the computer, and I did a lot of time. So it's kind of weird, guys. But anyway, I enjoyed doing the video. You know how I do it. I love it. You guys, I respect you a lot. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We're trying to hit that 1 million mark. And then we're going to go for 10 million. Trust me, I'm doing it. I'm not going anywhere, everybody. A lot of respect, a lot of love for everybody out there. Stay safe, make good choices. Don't have to go to prison. Make sure of that. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe.